Curtis, D.I. Wire.
DIYers, can we not get any break? Do we always have to be, we as black folks, do we always have to be a part of somebody's rollout?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
As the chat does things like this, I knew this was happening. This is why we're doing this live. Neo Stole is insanity. We're going to get to the internet's reaction, but did you hear about what happened as Jack Harlow is going on a press run for his new album, Monica? Monica. Monica. My nigga. Yeah, I don't think that was unintentional. But let's get away from that. I have not heard the project. I heard a few songs that popped on my timeline. But as soon as I saw the first video, I said, I do not believe that I'm the demographic for this, even though I myself am a diehard fan of the music that was produced during the quote unquote neo soul era that Raphael Sadiq said, don't call it neo soul. But nonetheless, three Caucasians got together and they had a conversation about blackness. You want to hear it? Here it go. Jack Harlow on the Popcast podcast. Oh, I love it.
This is a good song, ain't it?
Yeah, it's a great song.
You've
been watching a lot of movies that share themes with that song, it seems. We're going to talk about the
Right you are. Right you are. Very observant. The winner, I feel like winner might have won.
Ooh.
Yeah.
My favorite season. It is winter. It is winter.
It is.
Can't talk to Jack Harlow without talking about race.
I would hope not.
It's a choice. As I mentioned, three Caucasian guys in a podcast, and these are two well-respected journalists on a it would be good if the only black person in the room wasn't Andre 3000 on the wall in the back there.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell
I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
A version of this conversation with Post Malone,
Feet wet, like we were
Jelly Roll,
mixtapes, so we were
MGK,
that bar out. That bar is
Young Lean.
From me loving hip hop.
Eminem. Talked about it with Eminem.
Sure.
White rappers are afforded more freedom to change their genre at will. True or false?
I might have to think about that.
You need to think about this one? That sounds like some PR coaching. What do you need to think about? Whether the privilege actually exists? I think that's why they had a montage before you of people who are explaining their love or appreciation or how they were brought up around black music. You got to think about this part? Okay. Okay.
What do you think?
I think, yeah, definitely. I think there is something about being a white rapper that first puts the chip on your shoulder, and I think that that's why a lot of the people I just mentioned, maybe Post Malone especially aside, but yourself included, rapping your ass off is really important at the beginning. Like bars, like proving yourself, right?
Yes.
You could hear that in your early music.
Absolutely.
Okay, this Kush here.
I'll go ahead and mute this. Why they all look like this? Why they all look like this? Is this like I started from the bottom starter pack?
Somebody gonna have to tell
No, because I was really starting from the bottom at this time, Curtis. Why Post Malone look like that too? Why his braids look like he tried to itch him out instead of debraid the situation, he tried to itch him out. And that shit had, the afro on top of the damn braids. Why they always look like this in the beginning? This is a starter pack. You got a drunk wife beater and some Timbs, or what the hell it is. I don't know what the fuck them is. Boy, oh boy.
And then you prove yourself, you break in, you're supported by...
Did he prove himself? Did Jack Harlow prove himself, or did the machine just make it unavoidable for the consumer? What do you think?
all kinds of people. You've always had a diverse friend group. You grew up in a diverse place. You have a diverse team. You have a diverse fan base. You become accepted. And then we're talking about privilege, you have the ability to say, I rapped my ass off. I'm not going to do that anymore, at least for now. And
get to the goddamn question, please.
Radio programmers, award shows, press, like people take you seriously if you do that. If a black rapper wants to do something completely sonically adventurous it can often be treated as a whim or something to be ignored or a joke.
I mean, case in point, think about Beyonce and the way that her country album was treated, even though country, obviously, it should be common knowledge that is a traditionally black genre started and pioneered by black folks. When she made her country album, even being from Texas, she was still met with leadership of the CMT Country Music Awards space that said, hey, come kick it with us. I forget the gentleman's name, but come hang out with us if you really want to be accepted in this space and celebrated. And it was such an odd statement. And so to see the clear path that someone like a Post Malone has, where they're like, hell yeah, come on over. We've been waiting on you to get away from them Negroes over there. It's an obvious difference going on here. I see your super chat, and I'm gonna definitely come to it at the end. Thank you so much.
It's my personal feeling.
You're framing it through the lens of intent, and I also think of it often through the lens of reception and landing place.
You know why this question taking so damn long? Because there ain't no black folks in the room.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Nigga, do you have white privilege or not? Is your ability to make a neo-soul album, is it something that is afforded to you because you happen to be of Caucasian descent? Even though there is neo-soul, we already got neo-soul at the house. Even though there's neo-soul artists that already exist, that are doing this, have been doing this from the beginning, and this is what they do. They do it at a high level. They're amazing at their art. Are you given a little bit more grace than if somebody were to make this switch naturally, like say a Leon Thomas or somebody who came from an R&B space? Are you afforded some other opportunities because of the novelty of this situation?
Country music, for example, has become a safe landing place for former white rappers.
Right. A safe landing place? Does that imply that hip hop is an unsafe landing place? I'm not trying to reach, but I think that language matters.
Rock music has become a safe landing place. These are sort of pre-existing industry structures that welcome a famous person who got famous. I see the smile. It's great.
This turtleneck is pissing me off.
Great to see. I think I'd like to hear your answer to Joe's question, but also then talk about what I feel is like the radical twist of what you have chosen.
I was hoping that he would say that.
Sorry,
but you're giving him the answer, the good answer.
It's the right answer, but sorry. I'll shut up now.
What John's saying is you didn't.
What is your question?
You didn't.
This is probably the only time I'll agree with a Jack Harlow. What is the goddamn question here? What is the question? Say it. Spit it out.
I'll piggyback off what John's saying. John's saying you didn't retreat into a whiter genre. In fact, you arguably went deeper into.
I got blacker.
Black music.
Bitch, what? You got what?
You arguably went deeper into.
I got blacker.
Black music.
I got blacker.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Not the music started to dive into more black influence, but I got blacker in the situation. Is there a medicine for this? Is there a ritual that you practiced? Did 23andMe say me in 23 and give you some blackness through your blood and veins? Mind you, please, mind you. Jack Harlow. Can we just admire the picture for a second? Oh boy, you Caucasian artists are chameleons. Jack Harlow's ethnicity is the diverse mix of English, French Canadian, Irish, German, Swiss, and Scottish. And he's born and raised in Kentucky. He comes from a Caucasian background with European ancestry.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
But he in 23'd himself into getting blacker. Later, we're going to watch a video where Charlamagne say something that I absolutely agree with. This is probably one of the widest things you could ever say. Please explain the fuck.
Yeah.
Deeper into blackness. Yeah. So was that conscious? Was that a little twist on the typical move that white rappers make, which is to retreat back into traditionally white sounds?
It certainly made what I already wanted to do even more appealing. Absolutely.
Because you like pushing that boundary, that line?
I think I love black music. I love the sound of black
Who
music.
among us?
Yeah, I
it's
love
like-
the sound of black music.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm hyper aware of the politics of today, that safer landing spot that a lot of my white contemporaries have found. And of course, it appealed to me to do something that I felt like at a time when there's plenty of people expecting me to take some of the routes y'all are taking.
Yep.
To take the route that not only might not be expected, but is also the one I genuinely want to take. So all the stars aligned in that way for me, to be honest. I'm not going to pretend like what you're talking about, I was like, I guess you're right.
Here's the problem. There's a few issues with this, and I'm sure I'm not going to be able to get to all of them. Here's one of the issues I have. It's the tone in which this is delivered, right? It's a matter of, if he would have just made the music, but not been so on the nose, and this conversation is like, of course. I mean, I have a great appreciation for it, and I mean, I had access to it, and I really like it. If it wasn't this kind of conversation, I think it might be seen in a different lens. If you allow people the opportunity to connect dots instead of you trying to connect it for them, the music got blacker. I think the reception would be different because he's not terrible at making music. He's not terrible at He's not terrible at making music. But when you present it this way, I think you turn somebody off like me to even like, and maybe I'm not even part of the demographic. I really wonder. Okay, so before I get to this, I listened to this tone. You know what it reminds me of? I was in Texas for South by Southwest, and I was in line at a Mexican food restaurant, right? And this happened to be one that reminded me of home, of Southern California. It was bomb. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when they was cooking, they wasn't even speaking all English, and I loved it. It smelled delicious in there. I knew it. I knew what I wanted. This white lady was next to me, and she said, "Oh my God, there's so many choices on this menu. I mean, you got the chimichangas. Have you been here before?" And she's looking at me like she thinks I'm of Dominican descent. She's like, it's just the tourist energy of her walking around somebody else's culture with the level of entitlement and comfortability. Like, I'll try a little of that, and I'll try a little of that. And then the worst part, this comes back to Jack Harlow. The worst part, I think the gentleman said con todo, which I believe means you want everything. She said, con todo? And then she looked at me. It is the pompous tonality. It is the I can go wherever I want, and I'm just asking questions, and it's just me appreciating. So if I say something that's a little bit unaware or not self-aware, if I say something that feels insensitive, how can I know? I'm just a stranger here. I guess some of that same energy, some of that same entitled energy when I listen to him talk about wearing blackness as a costume. Blackness is not a costume. Blackness cannot be minimized to a genre of fucking music. So when you say it gets blacker, the fuck do you mean?
I knew that there were multiple things appealing about this route, but I also came to the decision, I'm proud to say, off of what feels good in my ear. I love R&B music. I love the sound of soft, intimate, melodic music. So
Look at the skews. So many skews.
Yeah.
I want to be understood. I want to write melodies that invite people to sing along.
Well, write your melodies and let them sing along, but don't think that we finna go along. So the Black Caucus chimed in. Oh boy, Twitter ain't felt like this in years, let me tell you.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Twitter has not felt like this in years, my friend. Look at... This is an example of AI being used for good. Somebody put his dumb ass, because they had a field day. It went viral after this happened. They put him on a Mock Hami album cover, and they called Rich Ass Colonizer. I'll be damned. We're not done. We are not done. What else we got here? We got Lazy, not Jay-Z, the Jew print, the gift and the curse. Oh boy. What else we got? We got Merica Badu Judaism.
Somebody
Golly.
gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Fire his ass up. Fire his ass up. That's my kind of bullying. What else we got? Uncommon, like water for vanilla. I'll be damned. Jack Marshall? Oh my. relooted. I can't. Could it get any worse? Oh, it definitely got worse for him. Some of you probably already have heard these echoed, but maybe go ahead and make sure that I have this and I'm documenting this in real time, because I think his team looked at this and they're probably looking at this right now like this is the most amazing promo we could ever ask for this album. Nigga, this is not making us want to listen to the album to do nothing more than clown the dog shit out of it for saying that this is your version of Blacker. So instead of just making something that was some uncommon music for you, that somebody says, hey, that's not bad, now you're going to measure it up against what we perceive as black music. Yeah, that's probably not what you want to do to yourself when in this climate right now, especially. Somebody posted him because he's been going around here in Kango hats, colonizing music soul child sound, or style, excuse me. Maybe sound too. Somebody said music stole child. Yep. Neo-Nazi, damn, not Neo. I'm so sick of January 6th in Park, I'll be damn. IRS 1. Disingenuine. So racist. De La Stole said Kev on stage, I'll be damn. ICE Cube. Because Ice Cube is not enough. ICE with the acronym like ICE. Most definitely not. Oh, Proud Boys. To men. Charlie Kirk Franklin. I will punch you. That was so funny. Jew Hill. Even Screw said, all lives on me. Shut up, my guy. It keeps going. Music Rothschild. Massa P. All right, we gotta go. I still want to keep my channel. Man, shout out to Battle Rap Bum. He always posts some of the funniest videos. Isn't it ironic that, one of this guy's favorite people that he's kicked it around, talking about Jack Harlow, is Drewski, and they had a skit talking about, older hip hop heads who wear a certain type of attire and they rap a certain type of way, spiritual miracle head asses. Isn't it funny that this nigga just came out? Not nigga. Isn't it funny that this Caucasian came out just literally dressed like one of them same people they just said was a starter kit? Look at this.
Okay. I'm super fragile, casualistic, espialidocious. I'm smoking halitosis. You drinking hypososis. Lyrical Bible. Not only am I the next Michael, I am the disciple.
John B did not go through the shit he went through for this shit. They don't know how racist that is. They don't know. Golly. There's a way to go about this. Have you never watched VH1 Soul? It's literally a whole collection of white R&B artists for you to... Like, you can... I hate it. John B would never. To this day. You ain't never had no issue like that with a John B. That's why he was able to work with a Tupac. Oh my goodness. Here was a take here by Charlemagne that I said earlier that I agree with. Listen to what he had to say on the Breakfast Club about this odd ass collection of words and statement.
I'm a neo soul junkie. I love the Jill Scotts of the world, the Erykah Badu's, whatever you want to call that genre. That ain't it, bro.
Yeah, that's
that ain't it. It just
some of the songs I heard I didn't love.
Let me tell you something. I like Jack Harlow. I've met Jack Harlow. We've interviewed Jack Harlow. Jack is a nice guy. But I told y'all on Friday that this album made him whiter. And saying the music made you blacker is exactly why I said this album made him whiter.
Yeah.
Okay.
It shows how disconnected you are with those that you said that you grew up with the culture that you said that you appreciated, with the same music that you say that you have a love for. It shows that your experiences, unique of a black experience, shows how disconnected you are from it to begin with. When you minimize it to, oh, that's just talking blacker, being blacker, dressing blacker, it shows how basic you're looking at blackness and how you're only looking at it through one dimension. Like, that's why it's the whitest thing you could have said. Jamiroquai. I still thought Jamiroquai was Latino until I heard him talking. I couldn't tell what he was. I thought he was my cousin. I thought he was like, he was mixed. I didn't know what he was. But he ain't ever came out and was like, yeah, after this Jamiroquai album, it's finna be blacker. Prepare yourself.
Okay,
Yeah.
because that's something only you got to be really white to say that this music made you blacker. Like,
And I know there are some people that are like, well, at least he, as a white artist, even if he's joking, he admitted but he's made songs about his privilege.
He's very sarcastic when he talks.
You know what I mean?
You
Like,
see, and that's the thing about it is that he has definitely made a reputation for being a guy who eats up moments like this, who's not afraid of being a joke on the internet. He's not afraid of, saying things that he's a funny guy. But he comes off to me with this latest rhetoric and some of the things that I heard as the white friend that gets too comfortable. Like like White Mike, the imaginary White Mike character we talked about when we talked about all the Drake versus Kendrick. White Mike would never. White Mike knows his place. He knows who he is and he knows what he's not, even if he grew up a house down the street. He knows who he is. It's a level of comfortability that's like, not only do I feel like I'm okay and I got the pass, I wish the fuck you would say something if I did. I get the energy of just a level of entitlement, a level of who's gonna say anything about it, man? Like, all my folks who are consulting me, who happen to be black, are probably telling them, hey man, let them get over it. They still gonna fill out the shows.
he knows what he's doing a little bit. But what I didn't appreciate, and I watched the full conversation, and I like his music, but what I didn't appreciate was, I just feel like I feel like me as a person that gets on the outlet every day, certain things and certain races and all that, it's certain things you got to tiptoe around, or like you can't say, or you just know that there's going to be some backlash about. I felt like he was a little bit too free. Like he's around a bit too much. He's a little bit too comfortable to say some of the things. Like he should have felt a little bit more it was cringe to watch. It was.
It was sarcasm and it was funny, but sometimes you swing and you miss with sarcasm. I do it all the time.
I'll leave it there. One of my favorite moments that happens is when I get to be exposed to new content creators, new black content creators that I hadn't known about before, because of these beautiful pieces that are put together. There's not a part of me that does not think that he was unaware of the backlash. Matter of fact, I think that he leans into it. I think he knows what this is going to be. And I think that the philosophy to a certain degree is weather the storm, let everybody get their think pieces off, people make their reaction videos, but when we at these shows and they filling out the doors, hey man, everybody money is the same color. Let them be mad for right now. You go do a collaboration with somebody that think they can't be sold out. Go do an interview with Breakfast Club. Go face them tough questions, and then you come out looking solid, and we have some solid streaming numbers to back it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they're looking at this like a low risk, high reward if you're able to withstand the criticism. Nonetheless, I love what Michelle Meets Media had to say about this. She calls him straight up a culture vulture.
Jack Harlow is the exact reason why a lot of y'all need to be gatekeeping and stop allowing motherfuckers to the cookout. He has a new album out called Monica, which if you say that slow, it sounds like something else. Break it up, Monica, right? Monica. And that may not have been his intention, but that's what it sounds like. And in this, he's now on a whole neo-soul tip. So he went from rapping to now he's doing neo-soul. And he sits down with an interview, and they basically asked him, a lot of white guys get into rap music and then turn around and segue it into something else. And they brought up that they talked to MGK about this. They talked to Jelly Roll about it. They've talked to several white artists who started off in hip hop rap and then easily went over to other genres. And they're basically bringing up to him, like, you did not do that. You chose to stay in this type of genre, which the reality is, all the genres they brought up, like country and rock, etc., those are all black genres.
We say this so many times, we become a broken record. They know this. They know this. And this is why I believe that these teams lean into this. And they hedge their bets on at the end of the road of this, we'll be richer, we'll have more conversations about us. Because otherwise, if you would have put this project out and not said this, would the music have been strong enough to create any kind of dialogue near the ones we're having right now? I'll leave that to you to answer.
So yeah, either way, they're saying you basically stayed in the black genre, which is neo soul. This man literally said, yeah, I got blacker. I love black music. And I went and listened to the interview. If you go look up the Jack Harlow interview with those two guys, it's at 12 minutes and 34 seconds. Okay, I remembered. This dude, they start talking about this. And he said, I got blacker. This is exactly why he's a problem. And you got black people over here, I listened to the album, it's good. He can't get blacker because he's not black.
I learned this from some of the younger folks that I met over at South by Southwest. Clock it. I was trying to figure out what this nigga was doing. We was talking, and in the middle of me making a good point, he said, The fuck is you doing with your finger? Clock it. She cooked his ass.
And I know what's going to happen is because there's a lot of backlash about that statement. He going to come up with, before the weekend's over or by Monday,
I thought he was trying to put out a cigarette.
An apology that wasn't what he meant and that he respects the music and yada, yada, yada. But the reality is this is what they do. They get in the genres, all the genres, but the ones that now are categorized as black, and they get performative and then think that they have access to blackness. And then y'all motherfuckers be inviting these people to the cookout.
Hey, did she lie?
So in his I Think I'm a Neo Soul Artist, that this is the album cover for Monica. Why are you wearing a beanie hat like this? Why are you dressed like if we just popped Music Soul Child's face on here, it would fit? He is a fucking culture vulture. That's the bottom line. And a lot of y'all inviting people to the cookouts.
I gotta wait.
Cookout invites end in November 6, 2024. And if you're still inviting people to the cookout, your motherfucking cookout invite is now being rescinded.
Not to mention cookouts right now is too expensive. Did I clock it?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Cookouts in general is too fucking expensive in this economy right now to begin with. Last thing we need is for somebody coming up here using all the damn resources too. It's too expensive. And you see, there's a difference, and I hate both situations. Remy cannot come inside. Yes, Remy can't come inside. He can't come in the house. You can't never come in the house. Here's the thing about it. I always call hip hop. Always call the culture. I like to compare it to a house because we always say like we have squatters or people in the house that shouldn't be there. If Post Malone was in the house of hip hop, house of black culture, house of however you want to put that, right? He was in the house. He was eating the food up. He was meeting folks. He was collaborating with folks. He was helping out around a little bit, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And he was getting he was eating up everybody's food, but he wasn't really contributing. It was like, where you getting all of this money from? You know what I'm saying? You got to contribute to the household. And at some point in time, he left the house, right? He left the house, and the first thing he did when he walked outside is, they got roaches in there. I promise there's roaches in there. We ain't even got no fucking roaches in here. What is you talking about? He took his shit on the welcome mat and walked his little fancy ass up there to country and did what the hell he wanted to do. He already, and mind you, I saw the tweet about him talking about one day he wants to become a country artist back from way back when. That's cool. You still went this route first for a reason, for the amplification. I look at Jack Harlow as like, he's still in the house, and it's like, so you gonna go here? You gonna go there with him? You gonna leave with Post Malone? And he like put his feet on the table. No. And you look at him like, nigga, is that my jacket? Is that my Kango? You gotta get your ass out the house. You done got way too comfortable. It's like he put my Kango hat on. He put my turtleneck on and said, "What's wrong, nigga?" That's how I feel about it. This is bullshit. Oh, I get it now. Kadre, I get it now. The finger gesture is someone saying you ate as in they agree with you or you made a good point. Oh, I get it now. At the time, I was like, you need help? You good? This shit had me crying. He was like, oh, yeah. What the fuck going on, bro? We got more reactions that I want to get to. Namely this one. She fired his ass up too. Viewer discretion is advised, but I don't care. Let her cook.
Afforded more freedom to change their genre. True or false?
Her name is Dope Queen Phoebes.
I might have to think about that.
I'd like to hear your answer to Joe's question, but also then talk about what I feel is like the radical twist of what you have chosen.
Look at her
Well, I'll
face.
piggyback off what John's saying. John's saying you didn't retreat into a whiter genre. In fact, you arguably went deeper into.
The zoom in is crazy. She's in the corner. Look.
Black music.
Yeah.
Deeper into blackness.
Yeah. I love black music. I love the sound of black
Who
music.
among us?
Yeah, I
it's
love
like-
the sound of black music.
Yeah.
All I wanna do is get some time alone with you the way you want.
Nope. Not in this house.
Find somewhere that we can walk.
Remy Shan will not.
In the Travis Kelce circa 2016 wigger nonsense is going on. Blacker how, bitch? Blacker why, bitch? Blacker when, bitch? Blacker who, bitch? What the fuck are you talking about? You think because you wear some 1990s Tay Diggs ribbed turtleneck sweaters that means you're being blacker, bitch? This is what happens when you do all this. We inviting white people to the motherfucking cookout nonsense. It devolves into utter fuckery. Cookouts are canceled, bitch. Everybody is door dashing fucking chicken wings to their houses and eating that shit in private and in motherfucking silence. Go into fucking timeout because this is ridiculous. Because we're not getting invited to the country club. Okay, bitch? Last I checked, Gwyneth Paltrow hasn't invited Nary a Negro to the country club to play fucking pickleball with her. Knock this shit the fuck off.
I don't want to play pickleball no how.
We got these 3 fucking white dudes and podcast microphones talking about black music and blackness, and Jack Harlow sitting there being like, oh, I don't know, I gotta think about that, bitch. You know the answer to that is yes, bitch. It's what the fuck you're doing, bitch. Why you playing stupid, bitch? We have seen this movie before.
Yes, we have. Let's talk about this movie. Let's talk about this movie. A dive, I think is what it is. A Dive Unsolicited does a pretty amazing breakdown that goes into the historical context. That's why I would never buy into this idea of it's not that deep. Oh, it is that deep. You can't afford for it not to be that deep. If you are surface level with these kind of conversations or anything that is this close to heart, or even close to heart, not for you, but for someone that you care about, it just shows what kind of empathy you're lacking. So if it is that deep for someone else, how dare you impose your it's not that deep on them? Give it a listen. I think he cooks on this one with a lot of information.
Jack Harlow just dropped a neo-soul R&B album. And when he did a podcast and they asked him why he didn't retreat to country or rock like other white rappers, he said, I got blacker.
White rappers are afforded more freedom to change their genre. True or false? Piggyback off what John's saying. John's saying you didn't retreat into a whiter genre. In fact, you arguably went deeper into
black music.
Deeper into blackness. So
that one sentence opened up a conversation that is 70 years old. Jack Harlow recorded at Electric Lady Studios, the same studio where D'Angelo made Voodoo. He hired Robert Glasper.
I mean, shout out to Robert Glasper, the legend. Shout out to that studio where, you know, it's a studio. Everybody has access, but it just starts to...
He cited Erykah Badu as his influence. By all accounts, the love is real. But is that enough? Sincerity has never been the issue. The issue is the system behind the artist. Let's take a look back at 1952. Big Mama Thornton records Hound Dog, raw, powerful, undeniable. 4 years later, Elvis Presley covers it and sells millions. Thornton saw almost none of that money. Pat Boone made a career out of taking Little Richard and Fats Domino records, stripping out the edge, and handing them to white radio audiences who were actively steered away from the originals. The industry even had a name for black music back then. They called them race records.
Yikes.
That's not a metaphor. That was the actual marketing category. Move to the 60s and 70s. Berry Gordy built Motown, specifically as a correction to this. A black-owned label to get black artists paid and heard on their own terms. It worked, but even then, publishing rights, distribution deals, and radio payola meant money still found ways to flow away from the artists who created the music. Blue Eye Soul emerged. White artists who genuinely love black music, but also got the promotion.
Blue Eyed Soul is just a funny ass name. It's some legends, but Blue Eyed Soul is just nothing screams 70s marketing like our 60s and 70s marketing like Blue Eyed Soul. You're a Blue Eyed Soul devil, aren't you? Ugh.
Budgets, the mainstream radio spins, and magazine covers that their black counterparts were denied. Then hip hop, born in the Bronx in the 70s. By the 2000s, it's the best-selling genre on the planet, and white artists have started arriving. Eminem, legitimate, credentialed, backed by Dr. Dre, but still, somehow, the most commercially successful rapper of all time. Vanilla Ice fabricated his entire background and lifted a bass line without credit. Iggy Azalea got nominated for Grammy Awards over black female rappers who have been doing the work for years.
Still the stupidest video of all time. Still the funny. It's not funny. It's not funny, but her ass started saying, "Who can like a ribbon slave? Tie your box, tie your." That shit still put me in tears to this day, brother.
Finish line with fire marks. When the relay starts to move on the way train.
And Post Malone and MGK, they use hip hop.
Mind you, she fixed that line from Kendrick where tie marks, something, I'm a runaway slave. She changed it to runaway train. What the fuck? What was the inspiration there?
As a launching pad, and then pivoted to country and pop rock the moment it was convenient. Hip hop gave them the platform.
Yeah, that was from Kendrick. Look out for Detox. It was a freestyle, or marketed as a freestyle. He said, sometimes I'm a runaway slave. She said, sometimes I'm a runaway train. Tie your balls, tie your. Just swallowing her tongue. What are we doing?
Then they left. So back to Jack Harlow. The critique isn't really about him as a person, it's structural. Black male R&B artists have been making this music for decades, and they don't get the same press runs, the same playlist placements, the same Grammy consideration, or you guys making posts about them. When a white artist steps into that lane, the industry often opens doors it kept shut. That's not about talent, that's about how this business has always been wired. So if you ask me my thoughts on Jack Harlow becoming a neo-soul artist, it's that right there. Happy Sunday.
Shout out to Adiv or Dive. I love the deep dive that you had into that conversation. Man, somebody who would never. And God rest his soul. Mac Miller. Mac Miller, I think, is a template for how to conduct yourself in a genre where we know it is pioneered by black folks. We know that it is dominated in a space by black folks, and there's a certain level of care that they must operate in our genre. There's a certain level of care in this household. There's a certain level of history and respect. I think the internet allowed for some people who've entered into this space to not care as much about that, right? Because you have an audience that co-signs your ignorance, a large audience that will co-sign your ignorance because they're ignorant. But I like this article that I had here, and I wanted to highlight this because Rico Central just said it. Jack want to be Mac Miller. He could never be Mac Miller. Mac Miller, I heard in a Breakfast Club interview, he was saying how he avoided the conversations as much as he could about not race, but about speaking up on things until he just felt like he couldn't do that anymore, right? He wanted the focus to be the music. He didn't want that to be his gimmick. And I know a lot of white rappers come into this space and that becomes easily a gimmick. Once you start talking about it, you won't stop talking about it. But Mac Miller did this through music. He did this through not trying to mimic or be like the black folks he collaborated with, but by being himself and being authentic, the authenticity and the black folks that these folks want to mimic, not a Mac Miller, but a Jack Harlow, ends up being the very thing that brings them together. There's an interview here on The Fader from 2015 where Vince Staples and Mac Miller were having a conversation about this very thing. Vince Staples says, I thought Paul Wall was Puerto Rican. They're talking about the subject of white rappers. And he asks a question, are we talking about white people that rap or white rappers?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna
I love that. Because it's a effing difference. White rappers are corny. White people that rap, it's like, oh, that's what's up. You white, you rap. Mac Miller said definitely. The genre of white rapper is not tight. You know what white rappers have in common? They wear hip hop like a costume.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth.
They wear rap, they wear blackness as a costume. And when they corporate zaddy says it's time to stop playing around with the Negroes, it's time to move on to greener pastures. Take that uniform off. They're allowed the grace to take that uniform off, and they look like just any other white guy. For some of us, we can't take hip hop off. It is embedded into our fucking DNA. This house is in our name. This house that we have lived in, we were born into this house. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. We were born in this house. So when you have people who come into this space and their whole stick is white rapper instead of just being a white guy that happens to rap, it's a very different conversation. He says, yeah, that shit is a genre, bro, says Vince Staples. Mac Miller then goes and he says, and it's funny because when my 2011 album Blue Slide Park happened, there was a surge of all these kids and we were able to sell 10,000 units on iTunes just out of nowhere. I remember touring and doing shows, and I was the first rap show ever in all the colleges. 6,000 kids, and I'm the first hip hop show because I'm white college friendly. That was always a demon for me. It was hard to sit here and know that because I was a white dude, I was able to sell easier and be marketable. How easy it is for him to just say the thing that Black Harlow, Music Snowchild, said. Oh, I don't know. It's beyond me. I know so much about black music, but this conversation is beyond me. This was, which one is Logic? I know his dad is black, but I'm saying he black, he white passing.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth.
When that nigga Logic put them glasses on and start saying, I'm half black, nigga, I feel like it's racist. He says that shit to my face and I'm like, I will punch you, cracker. And when I see his ass, that's what I feel. I'm sorry, I can't help it. When I see him do that shit, he put the fucking glasses on like you work at a fucking T-Mobile. That shit pisses me off. I don't care how many times you show your daddy. You look like a manager at T-Mobile. Anyways, I was a white dude. I was able to sell easier and be more marketable. That wasn't tight to me. I wanted to go through the same shit that everyone else did, but I did that shit. And it's not just a look too. I ain't done with Logic. It ain't just a look. It's the yeah, man, I'm half black. Hey, 1-800 do not kill yourself. Okay? I love you guys. Love you so much. Shout out to Twitch. Hey, I've been thinking lately I want to make some Playboy Cardi music. It's that shit. The fucking code switching. It's that shit. Hey, they're saying I'm not black. Dad, come on out. It's your turn. But I did that shit, and that shit was huge for me. Recently, I've grown up, says Mac Miller. This is my job, and I'm going to do it. It used to be so difficult for me being a white rapper, but now it doesn't eat at me as much. I appreciate Mac Miller because towards the end of his life, he did speak out on all of the brutal killings and the police brutality that affected so many black folks, that affected so many of us, and had us wrapped up in these conversations about our lives mattering. And Mac Miller was one of them people that jumped up, and he was just as loud as his appreciation for the very black, the very traditionally black genres that he's appreciating through his music. Appreciated that. Mac Miller never had to try this hard. God forbid I'd see him in an entire Music Snowchild fit. This shit right here, bro. I'm gonna go back for a second because I'm done with this. This shit here is sending me. Who approved this? Who approved this? DIYers. That's about all I gotta say about that, Mr. Jack Sparrow. Those are my thoughts. You let me know what you think.
DIY.
Tear in your eye.